Phoenix is 1 of 10 in the third quarter. Paul, the pull-up pop. Book it. A little bit out of control, but he clears. Paul against the big. No problem. Clear it. Paul gets around the big Nurkic and finishes, and the foul. And Kuminga, the 5 on the floor. Draymond Green out with an ankle injury. Paul.
It's a dunk.
Here's Paul waiting. Now will take. And
2-for-1 opportunity here.
Paul trying to get into it. Leaning away. No.
You know, he's taking Steph Curry shots.
Here's Paul zipping into the paint. Bodies away. Here's Paul around Duarte, lays it in the last few possessions. Paul working behind Looney. Paul to his spot. Yeah.
Ryan.
Good stuff there from the new veterans on this team, one of which is back on the floor to start the second quarter as Chris Paul.
Right there.
From the elbow, Chris Paul. Rockets 8-2 to start the quarter. Game tied at 83. Chris Paul over Jeff Green.
Now Chris Paul off the pick. Bells have started the game.
He's going to that right hand. That's what he wants to do.
Chris Paul. Anybody going to touch it? Pajinski got Dyson out of position. And the 3 ball for Chris Paul.
Ultimate professional.
Yeah, rattles it home. You want to do what you can to expand it when Curry's not on the floor. Chris Paul into the paint for his mid-range. We're in Illinois. Chris Paul wanted to go back inside. Mid-range. Feels like he wanted to make it difficult.
Yeah, but one of the things that they talked about this morning is making some of these catches difficult.
Chris Paul, yeah, he got what he wanted.
Deny something.
Chris Paul deep into the clock. Yeah, he's going up on the follow-up. And he's killed him. Where he started his career back in 2000.
New opportunity for the Dubs.
CP3. Take the 15-footer, goes to Kuminga instead. That rattles out. Good rebound by Pajinski. Back it goes to Paul. He's open. He got it. Under 9 to go in regulation. Paul here's off a green screen.
A minute to play in the first. Batted away by Payton. Chris Paul stops and fires him.
Pistons are right there in their back door.
I'll say this, they're not as good when Steph Curry's not in the game. Chris Paul from the corner. 7:45 to play in the first. Golden State leads by 5, 40-35. Chris Paul takes the pass. Down. Kuminga to the basket on the Warriors' end. Chris Paul for 3. And that playing inspired hoops right now. They lead by 5. 9 minutes left. Paul to the basket. Scoops. Scores. Against Marcus Sasser. A long time Hall of Fame bound bet against the rookie. Dumps it up over him and in.
Here's Chris Paul. Lives in the mid-range, and Chris Paul left that on the front rim. Got his rebound. Tries it again. This one
long. We've had way too many breakdowns. That last turnover, obviously, is not what we want. We haven't finished around the basket.
Curry. Over Gordon. Got it to go.
Can't bleed it out with a 5-second difference, but want to get something good. Chris Paul 30%. Dropping that one in. Warriors just switched that one. There was some space in there. Chris Paul from the base. Chris Paul. Work on Bruce. Chris Paul. To work on the 6'6" LeVert.
He gives the Warriors the lead.
This is what we talked about. Can you set screens to get the bigs to move? Shot clock at 1. Chris Paul's got to launch it way over Gobert. A deep 2. Let's see if you can ride this way. He's like, I got us. Chris Paul thought about that 3. The top backers, Minnesota. Andrew Wiggins. That left wing 3 used to be automatic. You can't buy one. Chris Paul hits a three. He's been struggling as much as anyone from distance.
It's well executed.
Warriors don't mind this pace, though. Keep going up and down. Chris Paul for the 15 possessions with one field goal. And yet, they're right here. Chris Paul. And took over. Chris Paul, three.
Hey, is it Chris Paul time?
Starting to get better thrown together, this young core.
Two-man tracking Clay gets around both of them. Chris Paul for three. Playing the odds.
That is pretty wide open. Usually percentages go up if you're that wide open.
Chris Paul answers with a three of his own.
Talked about the transition opportunities the Thunder get. No one picked them up until it was too late.
Chris Paul, he couldn't quite finish. Back out to Bajemski, though. Open Chris Paul, corner three.
Comparison.
Plays a lot like it. He can shoot it. Chris Paul, an open three. And that's it. I would have never thought about looking away anytime I shoot it. You're shooting from way too far out. Wiggins finding Chris Paul. Open corner three.
What does he not have in his game?
Wiggins down the lane. Chris Paul for three. Yes, sir! Thunder strike first in overtime. Looney, that naked handoff. Chris Paul, open three.
Fake handoff work. Got Chris Paul.
It's all post-game. A lot of post-game for the Rockets.
Chris Paul yanks one back and drops in a three. Played the night before, so the Warriors don't mind running it back at him. Chris Paul, that elbow.
Percent from three-point range.
I talked about the Warriors are playing a quality game, but the Rockets are right there with them. Chris Paul couldn't get that off. Smaller defender. Wiggins on Van Vliet. Chris Paul, he'll shoot for three.
Steph create the space around him. When you take one of them out, even with the addition of Chris Paul, it can still be difficult.
Foul on Booker is first, second on Phoenix, and there's the pull-up jumper from Chris Paul.
Even Golden State very much alive, especially with Sacramento beating Minnesota earlier tonight. As Paul, here's Saric, had a big night. Saric flags it down to the corner. Paul connects on three.
League Monk will jump it. Brad Beatty wins it. Paul with 9 to shoot, buries a three. Chris Paul was right there.